this video I'm going to show you how I'm going to plant my climbing French bean seeds directly into the ground, which is an alternative way to starting them in pots and then transplanting them out. And the techniques I'm going to show you will help to increase the rate of germination, and I'll also show you how to protect your vegetables. And these techniques will work for all types of climbing peas, mange too, climbing French beans, runner beans, etc. So this is the area where I'm going to plant my climbing French beans. You can see that I've already got some peas planted which are going to be ready for harvest in a few weeks. And just below, about 2.5 weeks ago, I planted some pea seeds directly into the ground, and now they're starting to germinate. But the French beans are going to go in this area here. Again, I've got another metal support which is already up. So what we need to do now is prepare the ground and get it ready for planting the seeds directly. Now there's so many fantastic varieties of beans available, and they can come in climbing beans, which we're going to plant today, or dwarf beans, which are much smaller. The dwarf beans won't require any support. They're just planted into the ground and they'll grow to about 1.5 foot, 18 inches, and you'll harvest them directly at that low level. For the climbing beans will have a support. It could be a metal support like this, but most people will use canes that they can make into a wigwam or some form of other frame, and that's the technique I've used for my cucumbers. I'm lucky enough to have these metal supports here, which I know not everybody's going to have, but it is quite easy to make a support frame, and quite cheap, out of canes. Now beans and peas are not tolerant to frost, so you've got to be very mindful of when you sow them, so that they're ready to go out when there's no possibility of frost. And one way of getting your beans and peas ready to plant out to give them a bit of a head start is to start them indoors. I've started a couple here just to show you that they can be started indoors. But if you were to sow these too early indoors and they get to a size where they need to be planted out and there is still a possibility of frost, you could lose them and all that hard work goes to waste. So timing is crucial. Ideally, what you want to be doing is a little bit of research to find out what your last predicted frost date is in your area, and if you are going to start them indoors, sow them about 3 weeks prior to that last frost date. And by that time, once they grow, you can be reasonably confident they'll be ready to go out without being affected by the frost. Now I'm based right in the centre of the UK in zone 8, and our last predicted frost date is the last day of May. I'm filming this video in the first week of June, so I'm reasonably confident I can now sow my seeds directly into the ground, and the possibility of them being affected by frost is negligible. Now it's really important when you're planting any vegetables directly outside that you prepare the ground properly. Now with beans and peas, the ideal thing to do would have been for me to have put some well-rotted manure or other organic matter over last winter and let all those lovely nutrients go into the ground, but in this area I haven't done that. So what I'm going to do in preparation for the seed is I'm going to dig a shallow trench either side of this metal support, and in that trench I'm going to put some multi-purpose compost, and what that will do, it will provide a nutrient-rich environment ready for the seeds. So that's what we're going to do next. So I'm just going to start off by loosening up the ground with my garden fork, and I'll do this on this side, then I'll go around to the other side of this fence and do it on that side. It's a lot easier if you dig the ground before you put your supports on, so you would say it's an advantage if you're going to use canes. So you'll dig this ground, plant your seeds, and when they start to emerge, then you'll start to erect your canes and frame. But because this is already in, I'm going to work around this frame. So I'm just going to loosen it up now with my fork on this side here. Just break up any lumps you see. So now you can see that both sides are really roughly dug, and that was literally just to loosen the soil up. Now we're going to get the rake and pull the soil away from the metal supports on either side just to form the trench. Now, as I've said, having the metal frame in place right at the start is a little bit more problematic than providing your own canes. Now, as you can see, I've used the rake and created a trench either side, but I need to get under the middle of the frame as well. So what I'm going to do is just loosen this soil with a hand fork, just so that I can get the compost to fill the trench completely before we put the seeds in. And as you can see, when I do that, I can get the fork completely under the frame, and that means I can put compost all the way underneath. Now suppose this is one of the main tips of the video. You could easily plant your seeds directly into the ground if your ground is good enough. So for example, if you've got clay soils or maybe soils that aren't very well draining, that's not going to be ideal, and you do need to do something like I'm going to do now. But if you've got fine soil and you're quite confident the seeds will germinate okay, then definitely plant them straight into the ground. But this is something I do with nearly every seed that I plant here in this vegetable plot to help the germination success rate, and that is to put multi-purpose compost in. So we've made the trench which goes right underneath the frame, and all we'll do now is get some multi-purpose compost and put it in the trench. Now you don't need a huge thickness of multi-purpose compost. This is just to provide a nice nutritious environment for the seeds when they're planted in a moment. So we'll do this now along the whole trench, and then afterwards we'll be able to plant the seeds. So there, as you can see, the whole trench is now covered in multi-purpose compost. It's not a great thickness, but it doesn't need to be. It's just to provide a nice nutritious bed for the seeds. Now when we're planting our climbing French bean seeds directly in the ground, you want to place them round about 6 inches apart. If you're going to do rows, like I've got one on either side, you want round about 18 inches ideally, but these are pretty close together and they're going to share the same frame. If you do a wigwam bamboo cane, you'll notice that the base of the canes are likely to be 1.5 feet, 2 feet, or maybe even greater apart. Now a lot of French bean seeds you get will be purple, but these ones are slightly different. Let me just come to the camera and show you them. They are a white seed. And what I'm going to do to plant them, now because we put the compost down, we're just going to lay these on top of the compost. And once they're all in position, we're then going to cover them again with compost before we rake the soil back over. Now I always recommend putting 2 seeds in each place, so every 6 inches will be 2 seeds very close together. And because the support is already there, I'll put these as close to the support as I can, because as they grow I want them to find their way up. As you're planting these as well, straight away you can see that they're going to have a good chance of germinating because the compost is fantastic. Now remember, compost provides a lot of great nutrients for your veg, so supplementing your ground with compost is absolutely fantastic. I do make my own compost, and there are videos on my channel showing you how to make compost, so I'll put a link to those in the comments below if you want to check out that. But this year I've used all the compost I made, which is why I'm using some bought compost for this particular purpose. Now for this method of planting, I've put the seeds in the first side over here. I want to go around and do the other side in a minute. I haven't done anything to them, I've just literally placed them on top of the compost. So I'm going to go around now, do the other side, and then we'll cover them over. Now there's all the seeds planted in their final positions on both sides of the support. And you may ask, why are you sowing 2 seeds in each place instead of 1? And the answer is really just to increase the possibility of germination, because if one of them doesn't germinate, you've got another one that could fill that gap. And if both germinate with the space I've got, what I'll probably do when they're established to a certain size is maybe cut one of them, because this frame here, if all of those seeds germinate and grow, is going to be completely jam-packed. Now all we need to do now is give these seeds a thin coating on top of them of more compost. Remember, we are going to rake back this soil on top of them as well, but the compost will just make sure that the seeds are completely enclosed in compost, top and bottom. And I've done this technique for years with all sorts of seeds on this allotment by sowing them in compost and putting compost on top and then putting the soil over, and it does make a massive difference. Even things like broad beans, for example, you can put your finger into the ground to create a hole round about to your knuckle, put a bit of loose compost in the hole, put your seed in, then put some more compost on top and then rake over. Works every single time. So the rate of germination by doing this technique is really high. Now I'm just going to go along and cover all of these seeds, and then we're going to rake the soil back over the top. And something else that you'll notice I'm doing is just patting the top of the compost after I've put it on top of the seeds. And then it's just a case of gently raking the soil back over the compost, remembering that the seeds are already nice and comfortable and cosy inside the compost. And then once I'm happy with that, I'll just use the back of the rake and just gently, very gently, just compact it all down. And the next thing we have to do is give everything a good soaking to really bed them in. So we'll use a watering can and give it a real good soaking of water. In this part of the allotment there's a lot of slug activity and birds as well, because just to the side of me over here, very close, there are lots of trees. So what I am going to need to do with these is protect them with netting as well. So what I'm going to do is drape a net over the top of the support just to allow them to establish. About 2 weeks ago I did put some beans that I'd grown inside here but forgot to net them, and I came back 2 days later and they were just stalks, because the birds love the tender beans, so you may need to protect them depending upon your local conditions. So there you can see the netting now installed on both sides and secure. So I'll probably wait for the plants to grow a third of the height up the supports and then I'll remove the netting. And as you can see, this is standard bird netting. So there you have it, that's my climbing French bean seeds planted directly outside. So the key thing to remember really from the video is, if you're going to do this, prepare the ground, use organic matter such as multi-purpose compost, and that should give your seeds a really good start. Also, you might think about protection, just like I've had to, using netting for protection against the birds. Now the seed should germinate within 7 days, and as they start to grow I will remove the netting when they get to a height of around about a third of the support that you can see behind me. Climbing French beans and runner beans can grow to in excess of 6 feet, so clearly I'm going to need to remove that netting at some point. Something else I might need to keep an eye on, which is a particular problem in this area of my vegetable plot, is slugs, and if I see any I'll remove them. So once the risk of frost has now passed, you can start to think about sowing your seeds directly outside in exactly the same way I've just shown you. So thank you very much for watching, and I really hope you've enjoyed the video and it's given you 1 or 2 tips. If you did like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and if you want to subscribe to the channel for future videos on how to sow and grow fruit and veg and flowers and 1 or 2 recipe ideas, don't forget to press the subscribe button. And I'll see you all on the next video.